Imagine this. A white murder suspect says his motive was that he wanted to kill black people, and that's why he picked a random black person to kill. That story would be everywhere. But when the races are swapped, the story largely gets ignored. On April 10th, 66-year-old white handyman Lawrence Herr was installing a mailbox when he was shot and killed in broad daylight. The two suspects, Taj Matthews and Maurice Holmes, are now facing first-degree murder charges. And the lead detective in the case recently testified that Matthews had said they, quote, wanted to kill a white person. Chief of Louisiana's Kenner Police Department went into further detail.
Through some of the confession of Taj Matthews, who admitted to taking part in the homicide, that they did want to commit a murder that day, and specifically they've ruled out Hispanics, and they said it was going to be a white person.
Now, I'm guessing this is probably the first you're hearing of this story, even though it's a racial murder case. Matthews and Holmes were reportedly driving this silver Mercedes caught on surveillance video, passing Lawrence Herr 3 times while he was installing his mailbox on a front lawn of a customer's house that he'd been servicing for the last 15 years. At 11 a.m., at least one shot rang out from the car and struck Herr in the back. The customer, reportedly seeing Herr on the ground, initially thought he'd suffered a heart attack before realizing he'd been shot. Lawrence Herr, who was affectionately nicknamed Peanut by his friends and neighbors, died later that day in the hospital, his girlfriend relaying this message.
He was a great man, and if you needed help, if he can help you, he will help you. I can't believe somebody would do that to him. He was a great person. He would give you the shirt off his back.
Now, if a couple of white nationalists were driving around on the prowl looking to execute a random black person, the story would be all over the mainstream media. We would be inundated with talking heads on CNN and MSNBC talking about racism. Now, of course, this country's history of racism against blacks is relevant. But from the media perspective, it seems there's just only interest in amplifying the story if it fits a particular narrative. Joining us now, Liz Habib, co-host of the Death of Journalism podcast. Liz, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. What do you make of this one?
First of all, what a tragedy this story is. As I watched it even play out, can you imagine 2 guys literally stalk a man and decide to kill him because they wanted to kill somebody who was white? Dan, I don't have to tell you. I will tell you what the narrative would have looked like if this was in reverse. If 2 white suspects drove down a street and stalked a black man and then shot that black man, and that's according to the alleged facts in this case, this is what this story would look like. Headlines in every media. Then politicians and celebrities would tweet about it. And then it would go even further. Politicians would show up on morning shows everywhere. This would be discussions on cable news, and on, until the athletes were wearing shirts that had the victim's name and BLM was out in the streets, and protests would take place until the victim was a martyr for the cause. And the cause that the mainstream media, and I worked in the mainstream media, Dan, for 35 years, and the cause is to show that this is a society of institutionalized racism in America. This doesn't fit that narrative, Dan, and so the mainstream media doesn't touch it.
And it is amazing, right? I mean, I haven't done a thorough search, but I believe that this has only been covered locally.
Locally. I had to do the search too, Dan. I looked it all up. I wanted to see it. I looked at all the different videos. I didn't even catch that clip of the girlfriend who is a black woman in this cage, adding to the tragedy of this entire case. Look, Dan, 35 years on television. This is not something that if I was still in the mainstream media that I would have an easy time touching at this point. I would be afraid to talk about this exact type of subject. Why? Well, you know, there's a possibility I could lose my job over something like this. In the mainstream media, if it doesn't fit the narrative that has legs in society right now, then it's not something we touch. There's a real great fear about talking about race in any way except for one way, and that is that racial issues affect black people only. And that's just not a fair depiction of society.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.